This is a presentation on breast cancer and early mammography screening by a group of nurse practitioners and midwives. The authors of this presentation are Jenkins Lawhorn, Mari Wiles, Victoria Cashan, Julie Percival, and Nicole Wilson. Just as a warning, this presentation contains graphic content.
Trish has been my coworker for the past 5 years. We have stood side by side, welcoming new life into this world and watching it fade away from babies born too soon. But this isn't just a story about Trish. It's also a story about Cammie, her wife and partner of 22 years. It's about their two sons, Gavin, 13, and Bryce, 11, their friends, their family, and even their coworkers. This January, Cammie scheduled a mammogram after being urged by a coworker to schedule one since she was now 52 and hadn't had one since she was 45. Cammie had a family history of other types of cancer, but not breast cancer. Cammie felt like she was low risk after having breastfed both of her sons for over a year. She didn't have any changes with her breasts and didn't feel any lumps. Cammie would have put off having a mammogram for several more years if it wasn't for her friend's strong urging to schedule the scan. Cammie went in on a Friday for her mammogram and was immediately scheduled for a diagnostic ultrasound and biopsy the next Monday, since they had seen something that was looking suspicious. Knowing that this happens sometimes, Cammie and Trish weren't all that worried. But the Wednesday after her biopsy, she received a diagnosis of her grade 3 breast cancer. She had an 8-centimeter mass in her left breast. Cammie stayed home from work that day to process the diagnosis and share the news with her family and friends. She said that from very early on, she had a "we're going to beat this" attitude and was even able to use humor to cope with her diagnosis, telling her mother, "I wanted to lose 10 pounds anyway." Cammie works at a smaller company and didn't have long-term disability insurance, but her coworkers were very supportive. They helped Cammie pick her surgeon and created a GoFundMe page for her, and even sold bracelets with the inscription "Cammie Conquers Cancer" and Jeremiah 30:17 to raise money to help with medical expenses. Trish says she doesn't know what she would have done without the support because she took 3 weeks off and Cammie was out for 5 weeks recovering from surgery. Cammie feels that in many ways her diagnosis was harder for Trish and the family than it was for her because she approached her cancer with a fighter mentality and was really only focused on getting through. Whereas Trish struggled with being Cammie's support person, being her rock, and of course grappling with the thoughts of losing Cammie to cancer. Then, 2 weeks before Cammie's surgery, their oldest son Gavin fell in PE class and fractured both of his elbows. He needed to have 2 casts and became completely dependent on his family to assist him with daily activities and personal hygiene. At the time, this felt like just one more devastating blow to an already struggling family, but now looking back, both Cammie and Trish feel like this accident allowed them a much-needed distraction and brought them closer together as a family. During this time, their youngest son, Bryce, told Cammie, "Mom, this is a really hard thing we're going through, but there is going to be something really great on the other side." After the procedure, Trish recalls that the surgeon came into the waiting room and said, "We've removed the left breast." She knew that that was what they were there to do, but she said that it felt so surreal to hear him say it out loud.
Breast cancer is the 5th leading cause of death in women globally, with 1 in 8 U.S. women diagnosed in their lifetime. Screening mammography is the only method known to decrease related deaths and can detect most cancers before other symptoms appear. Screening mammography is recommended every 2 years for women 50 to 74 years of age and according to personal risk factors for women 40 to 49 years of age. Warning signs of breast cancer include a lump, knot, or thickening, swelling, warmth, redness, or darkening, change in breast size or shape, dimpling or puckering of the skin, an itchy, scaly, sore, or rash of the nipple, retraction of the nipple or breast, sudden onset nipple discharge, and new or continuous pain in one area of the breast. In 2018, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin proposed eliminating breast cancer funding that assists low-income women to obtain screening. We encourage women to obtain mammography screening according to the recommended guidelines and ask that you contact Governor Bevin and urge him to support breast cancer screening by maintaining funding.
After the surgery, Cammie felt very confident that the cancer was gone, having been told by the surgeon that the tissue edges and sentinel nodes were clear, and chose not to pursue additional treatments. Cami chose breast reconstruction using tissue expanders, followed by implants and areola tattooing. When Cami returned to work, she wanted to shout her experience from a bullhorn. She also got into a little trouble for showing off her scars. But she wanted everyone to know that mammography saved her life. She feels like it is her duty to pay it forward, to spread the message about the importance of having regular mammograms. Cami wants other women to know it's okay to be scared, but stresses the importance of having a positive attitude while you're in the process of healing. Cami said this experience really made her reflect on what is important to her and has now come to understand how precious life is.
We want to thank Cami and Trish for their willingness to share their story and personal pictures to raise awareness about the importance of mammography screening for early detection of breast cancer. We're wishing you the best on your upcoming surgery and recovery. Thank you so much for sharing your family's story. Here's the information to contact Governor Bevan.